Hey, what's up, everyone? So, we're going to talk about this composer who lived like over 100 years ago. But what if I told you his music is probably already on your phone, like on one of your go-to playlists? You just don't know it's him yet.
Okay, just listen to this for a sec. Yeah, you know this one, right? Maybe you've heard it blasting in a stadium during a huge football game, or in some super intense movie scene. Or, let's be real, you've probably seen a singer on a show like America's Got Talent just absolutely own the stage with a song. Well, believe it or not, that totally epic track comes from an opera. Yep, an opera. And the guy who wrote it, the original blockbuster composer, was this man right here, Giacomo Puccini. So today, we're going to dig in and figure out who he was and why his music is still, well, everywhere. So every great creator has an origin story, you know? It's like a superhero's backstory, or how your favorite gamer got their start. Puccini's is no different. Let's dive into how he became such a legend. Okay, so here's the quick version. Puccini was born in Italy way back in 1858, and his whole family was into music. When he was a teenager, he went to this top-tier music school to basically level up his skills. His first opera in 1884 got some buzz, which was cool, but then, 1889, he had his first major fail. The opera was called Edgar, and it just flopped. But here's the thing. He didn't give up, and in 1893, he dropped Manon Lescaut, and that thing went viral. It totally put him on the map. Right, so after that first big hit, Puccini basically entered his golden age. He started dropping these operas that were like the biggest albums of the year. Absolute chart toppers that everyone, and I mean everyone, had to go see. Let's get into the big three. First up, we've got La Bohème. So picture this. It's about a group of young, totally broke artists living in Paris, just trying to figure out life, love, and how to pay rent. Sound familiar? It's super dramatic, super relatable, and just packed with emotion. One of the most famous moments is when the main guy, Rodolfo, meets his future girlfriend, Mimi. He takes her hand and sings this amazing solo, Che Gilida Manina, which literally just means what a frozen little hand. It's his super smooth, super romantic way of introducing himself. Total classic rom-com moment, right? All right, on to the next blockbuster, Tosca. Now, if La Bohème was a romantic drama, Tosca is a full-on, edge-of-your-seat thriller. We're talking high-stakes action, intense love, crazy jealousy, and a ton of political drama all happening in Rome. It's got the whole shebang. And the most powerful moment in this whole thing is when the main character, Tosca, sings Vissi d'arte. She's hit rock bottom, her whole life is falling apart, and she's basically screaming at the universe like, why is this happening to me? I lived for art, I lived for love, I never hurt anybody. It's her big emotional spotlight moment. And in opera, a moment like that actually has a special name. It's called an aria. So what's an aria? It's basically the character's main event moment to just shine. Think of it like a wrestler's entrance music that tells you everything you need to know about them, or a superhero's big speech right before the final battle. It's their chance to step into the spotlight and let all their feelings out. And Puccini? He was an absolute master at writing these. And you can really hear that mastery in his next major work, Madama Butterfly. Now, this one is absolutely heartbreaking. It's the story of a young Japanese woman who gets betrayed by an American naval officer she marries. It's a really powerful opera about culture clash and a love that just wasn't meant to be. The most famous aria from this opera is called Un bel di vedremo. The main character, Chiocho San, is singing it, and she's just imagining the day her American husband will finally come back to her. The song is so full of hope and belief, which honestly just makes the ending of the story that much more tragic. Okay, now we're getting to the final chapter of Puccini's life. This is about his most ambitious opera, his most famous one, and, as it turns out, his unfinished one. And yeah, it's the one with that epic song from the beginning. So Puccini starts writing Turandot. It's this massive story set in ancient China. He writes that world-famous aria we played, Nessun Dorma, which means none shall sleep, for the hero of the story. But then, right in the middle of writing this epic piece, he got sick and died in 1924.
and he couldn't finish the last part of the opera. His students actually ended up finishing it for him, using the notes he left behind. And that's the version we all know and love today. So, the big question is, why are we still talking about a composer who died almost 100 years ago? Let's connect the dots and talk about why Puccini is still such a big deal. Well, his music is, and I mean this literally, everywhere. You hear it in movie soundtracks when things need to feel huge and emotional. It's in commercials for fancy cars to make them seem epic. You hear it getting blasted in stadiums as a sports anthem. You see singers belt it out on talent shows, and you even hear modern artists sampling his work. His music has basically become a part of our culture. So here's the main takeaway. Puccini wasn't just a guy writing music. He was a master storyteller. He figured out how to use music to create drama and suspense and pure emotion that is so powerful, it feels just as real and hits just as hard today as it did over 100 years ago. And that kind of leaves us with one last question to think about. Puccini made music that has lasted for generations. So what about the music you're streaming right now? Which song from today do you think will still be a global hit 100 years from now? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in to This Explainer.